Hi, everybody, and good evening. Coming up on 9:38 right now, I'm monitoring a situation which is giving us the potential of a tornado warning for our area. There are two cells that we're watching out of Tennessee. One is a confirmed tornado on the ground right now near Morristown, Tennessee. That is moving toward the south and east, and if it holds together, it would push into areas of Madison County, Yancey, or Mitchell County. That's a good ways away. That one's a lot further away. We are one county over from this red box, which is radar indicated. This is the cell that's been being watched or tracked since Nashville. This cell, supercell, right in there, has shown rotation all the way since Nashville. It has had a warning on it since Nashville, Tennessee, and it's one county over. It's approaching I-40 as we speak in Knox County, then heading toward Newport, just north of Gatlinburg near Sevierville, and then it pushes into Madison County if it holds together, and possibly northern Haywood County. So these are some areas that we're watching in western North Carolina. Those of you watching right now in the upstate are wondering, okay, what's happening? But it's an unusually warm day, an unusually muggy day outside, and we have cold air to our north in the Midwest. We have unusually warm weather across our area, and our lows tonight are in the 60s. So this is all fuel for these storms that are rolling through. So as I pull out here and show you kind of a big picture, give you the perspective of what I'm tracking right now, is I can scoot over a little bit, see if that works. We're dry across much of the area, and much of our area will see nothing tonight, but it is one of those nights where it's enough juice in the atmosphere to get some of this to kickstart, and we've got an area that is showing some rotation. Now, the greatest risk of that is where the storm is right now. You see that yellow. That is the level 2 risk of severe weather, including an isolated tornado. But we've been highlighting this area across the mountains here from Madison County, Asheville, northern Haywood County, Swain County, Jackson County, northern Macon County, up through Robbinsville, Cherokee, into Clay County, North Carolina. These all are in the low risk, a risk that we need to watch, a risk that we need to keep a close watch on. And if you will, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know this is coming through loud and clear. And let me know where you're watching from right now. That would help me out. I got the phone up right now and can help answer your questions. Live Super Doppler 4 gives us an instant look. And that's the difference with our Doppler that is really honestly a life-saving tool that, to be honest with you, I'm not used to using in February for severe weather events like this. It has happened before. We've had tornado outbreaks, big tornado outbreaks, in fact, in January. February can be a volatile month as well, but anytime it's in the 70s to near 80 degrees in the wintertime, there's a price to pay for that, and it's usually severe weather. We do have some cells that we're watching. They're not severe. In fact, I've got lightning detector on right now. I'm not seeing any lightning whatsoever across the area with this activity. Just some good old-fashioned heavy rain. So if you hear the rain across the upstate, don't fear. That is not tornadic, and honestly, I'm not concerned about tornadic activity in the upstate right now. But we're one county over from what could be a tornado warning in parts of the mountains here. Sevierville, north toward Newport, this cell is getting very close to the I-40 corridor. And let's basically look at this in a couple of different angles. So if it holds together, it's going to move into western North Carolina, which would be our viewing area, which means I'm going to cut into programming on television if that were to occur. Simply put, we've got two cells that we're watching, one of which is a tornado on the ground. This one near Morristown, it has been observed. Weather spotters, law enforcement have spotted a tornado. That purple polygon is the difference there. Anytime you see a purple, it means that it's an observed tornado, not just a radar-indicated tornado. That's something that's been new in the past year or so. A very helpful tool to quickly identify a dangerous situation that turns more dangerous, basically, right? As we look at this cell that's over Sevierville, Dandridge, Beach Springs, heading toward Newport, getting very close to that I-40 corridor, it's got some rotation in it, and it's got some pretty significant rotation that has spread all the way back from Knoxville, to be honest with you, all the way back through Nashville, but especially into Knoxville here. That hook is right in there near Beach Springs, Alder Branch. In fact, as we look at the rotation, there is plenty of it. I mean, this is in an ideal spot for the Doppler radar outside of Morristown northbound Tennessee to be able to see this rotation. And just north of Sevierville, near Beach Springs, there is significant outbound winds going away from the radar and inbound winds going toward the radar. So you got that rotation spinning up right there. And this is a textbook tornado warned storm that National Weather Service out of GSP alongside us here are monitoring it with all of our tools. We've got our Doppler radar, which picks up on it coming in from where it's located off of I-85. You pass by it, see the big dome right there. That's our Doppler radar. Gives us that look, and we may have a warning, folks. Did they just push it into our area? Very close. It is now to the border. Okay. They just extended it. I get alerts in about 5 different places over here, so things were flashing at me. So, hey, putting you on alert here in Madison County, Haywood County. If this holds together, and honestly, it's this notch right in here, just north of Sevierville, that would be the cell. So, if it can hold together, and we put a track on it right here, just north of Sevierville right there, it would cross the border within the next 40 minutes. So in anticipation of that, they're not going to wait until it's crossing the border to actually warn on it, right? So you get a warning. That's the whole point of it. You get a warning out ahead of it, which would be something that we will be keeping an eye on to see if it does, in fact, head into North Carolina, which, as I'm telling you here, looks like, from the looks of it, would be the northeastern tip of Haywood County and Madison County, North Carolina. So Madison County, North Carolina, and northern Haywood County would be next on the docket if you get a tornado warning. So this cell, looking at the stats of it, there's a warning for northern Sevier County and East Tennessee. Getting new data in here. Large hail. Okay, it's moving east at 45 miles per hour. That's what I was looking for. Let's make sure my tools are honed in on that. Yep, got it right there. Okay. All right. Let's answer some of your questions here, but I want to get back to that other warning, which is a actual tornado on the ground. Looks like they're transitioning that to a severe thunderstorm warning on the northeastern side of that. So that was probably an observed tornado for a time, and certainly bears watching as we look at the velocity in that one. Not picking up on as great of a signature there, but certainly this one toward the south near Sevierville has classic signs of rotation and has for a while now. Now that rotation was a lot more compact back here toward Knox County. Looks like it's a bit more broad of rotation, which is no indication that it's a weak cell, but it does show that maybe it's not rotating as tightly compact as it was. But we need to watch that cell. See how it's tightly compact north of Knoxville, and then it's right over my shoulder right there. As it continues getting some bright reds, some bright greens, which still indicates a significant amount of rotation near Beach Springs, just north of Sevierville. This were to continue into these areas. Sevierville, Beach Springs. Is that good? He's not good. Does anybody come in there for a second? Okay. So watching that right there. That notch right there is going to be the one we watch. All right, folks, let me pop in here to the newsroom real quick, just make sure things are okay in the newsroom. We got kind of our ducks in a row because we are, we'll know in the next 15 minutes if this thing's going to be a warning for our area. But certainly a tornado possible here in Tennessee. I'm not going anywhere. I don't think that. But I do want to go make sure that things are tidied up and that we can go on TV with the push of a button here, because as you can see, that's my area that I'm responsible for television purposes, and it's imminent there. So bear with me for just 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, I'm back. We're good. That's a lot goes into our team here, WYFF4, just full transparency with you. We got a web department, we got a TV department, we got a crew upstairs, got our camera folks here. Travis and Ben behind the camera help us make sure that we're on air so that we get that information out to you. But it is a machine, and it needs to stay well oiled, so we're all on the same page and ready to go on if this happens. Everybody's in their designated spots, but different things have to happen for you to be able to go on TV, especially during primetime programming. Of course, it's life-saving information, so just got to make sure that certain things are in line. So if you're watching right now in the upstate, you're saying, hey, what do we got going on? Well, the likelihood that this would move out of the mountains into the upstate and survive all of that is low. And in fact, this is kind of moving east, southeast. So Madison and Haywood County, you're probably next for a potential warning. And areas after that would likely be, if it were to continue, would be Buncombe County near Asheville and then into McDowell County. Now that would be the eventual track of it if it were to continue in that vein. So a very violent storm that has had a history of producing severe weather back through Nashville. The rotation weakened up to about 30 minutes ago, and then it really starting to tighten up again near Knoxville, and that's where we've been really monitoring it because the warning box was extra long, and that's the case whenever you have severe weather that has had a history of producing confirmed damage back toward the west and a long track. So you know it's coming. Why not go ahead and warn more people of it? So right now that's in Sevier County in East Tennessee. We are very close to this being in our area. If it were to continue, it would be in Haywood County and Madison County, North Carolina, where there would be likely a tornado warning, which would mean you need to get to your safe place and stay put. So those of you asking about the upstate, I'm dialed back in. Ben on our floor crew who was telling me what you guys are saying. Is the upstate getting any? Southern Anderson, Spartanburg, need to watch that closely. I do not think the upstate will have severe weather tonight. This would be for the mountains, and the mountains are very high in that area. So as this approaches these mountains, it should begin to disrupt that circulation, that rotation. But right now there was a confirmed tornado near Morristown. That has lifted. Now we have one cell that is the main concern, and it's near Sevierville, heading toward the I-40 corridor, just north of Dollywood, right? Okay, so Sevierville, Gatlinburg, northbound. There's Ware Valley, and the next in the line would be the I-40 corridor near Haywood County and Madison County in North Carolina for the potential of a tornado. And here's the deal. It's warm. It's muggy. We've got temperatures that are still outside near 70 degrees in some locations. So unusually warm weather in February. While it's nice while it lasts, usually the price to pay for that or the side effect of that is severe weather. So I want to show you a couple different things with this. This rotation, this hook in here, has been quite pronounced. And that's where it sits right now, as it is a rotating thunderstorm. And as it moves toward the east, that rotation is very evident here near Sevierville. Thankfully, the couplet, as we call it, the wind's going away from the radar, the wind's going toward the radar, is not as tight, okay? It's not as tight as it was, which means that rotation's still there, but it's broad. Still bears watching. I mean, this is a rotating thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado at any level, right? I mean, it's close, folks. It is moving into some high terrain, as you know, near Pittman Center, Pigeon Forge. This is about 10 miles northeast of there. This area is very mountainous, and you're leaving flatter terrain and East Tennessee, going into some higher elevations of East Tennessee. So it is going into more mountainous regions as it moves off toward the east. So we've got to watch this area right here. Let me put, sorry, I got to stare at my tie, but let me pop on this warning. We'll get it. There we go. So right there within that warning box. All right, Chelsea says, I just do not want to go to bed and not wake up have a warning here. Brandon says, man, Chris, tell you the thing we miss the most to live about the coast is you. Oh, Brandon, thank you. You're so kind. All right, so Chelsea asking about going to sleep. If you're in the upstate right now, to be honest with you, I do not see a concern. This is for the mountains and for probably the next hour. It's moving into a mountainous terrain. We've got more stable air in our area of the mountains. So this is really watching this cell that's hopefully going to be dying out as it moves deeper into these areas. There are a few showers to watch here across the upstate. So if you hear some rain, don't be disturbed by that. But if you're watching right now in the upstate, which I know so many of you are, this is for our friends in the mountains. This is for Asheville, northwestbound through East Tennessee. And I know when you hear the word tornado, you're thinking, oh no, where's it at? Is it what part of the upstate? Well, this is for the mountains. This is not usually the case. Normally we're saying for the upstate you got a tornado, and we're watching the mountains, but in this case it is solidly the mountains. It is the mountains of East Tennessee, possibly heading into North Carolina. This rotation seems to be getting disrupted quite a bit. However, it is still a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. That red box indicates where the concern lies. And as you know, those of you watching right now, our viewing area goes all the way up past Asheville, through Marshall, into parts of Haywood County. Goes all the way to Boone, to be honest with you. We bump up against the Charlotte TV market there. So this is solidly in our viewing area that we need to watch, and so many of you that watch us on NBC, WYFF4, view us from there. So we're committed to keeping you safe in Haywood County, Madison County, Buncombe County, Swain County, Yancey, Mitchell County, McDowell County, if it were to hold together. So that's the name of the game right now, is watching to see if it can hold together as it moves into some higher elevations, some rougher terrain in this, and that's certainly something that we're going to watch. As you can see, that little notch right there, that hook right in there, and it's got quite a bit of lightning with it. Got a well-defined hail core. The tornado would be somewhere in here. And in fact, as we turn on velocity, this is basically my way of x-raying the thunderstorm right in there. That would be where the tornado would be, right in there, which coincides with where that hook, that notch was. So those of you that have seen severe weather enough, you know that that is a telltale sign. You got that notch right there. That is the wind rotating. You got that inflow right there and the outflow right there. And right in there is where the possible tornado would be. There's the well-pronounced hail core up there. So right in here, just south and east of Sevierville, would be where that would be located as we watch that move off toward the east. So again, as we look at the velocity data, this is an x-ray of the storm. Where and how are the winds behaving? You've got the winds going away from the radar right there, going toward the radar. So this is still rotating in some form or fashion. It's just, thankfully, not doing it as much. Boy, it's going to be a close call. National Weather Service folks at a GSP, they're next. They got their hand on the button, right? Just like we do for TV. And it's one of those situations where if the weather's threatening enough, we're going to let you know about it. And the new scan coming in, you just saw that come through. Again, I don't want to let our guard down, but I do like the signs of what I just saw that last scan. Is a lot of that green went away. Now this is again moving into some higher elevations. They just trimmed that box up just a little bit. So we'll just see if what they call a downstream warning is coming. Do they issue a warning downstream in anticipation of or in concern of? See? Okay. Just getting word from the National Weather Service that the timing of this, as we were just looking at with Storm Tracker moving into Madison County, would be about 10:30. So moving into Blue Mill, which is right there on the state line near Miller Gap School. That is, again, right at the border. So where the cell is at right now, where that rotation is at, by the time it makes it to the North Carolina state line would be about 10:30, which is 30 minutes out. T-minus 30 minutes is kind of that wheelhouse of do you issue a warning. And right now that looks to be more prompt. We're looking a little bit better in Madison County, okay, and in northeastern Haywood County. But I don't want to let our guard down because this area is rotating. It is an area that is very mountainous. You've got 4,000, 5,000 foot mountains over here. So those high peaks are going to disrupt this rotation, or at least try to. But all the different scans that we get back every 2 minutes. From our Doppler radar, it's every 30 seconds. From the National Weather Service radar that I have access to out of Morristown, it's every 2 minutes. So again, when we're talking about severe weather in our area, live Super Doppler 4 is clutch, but I'm thankful to have the 2-minute data out of Tennessee. That's not our radar, obviously. That's National Weather Service radar out of Morristown. Our radar is located off of I-85 in Anderson County. So that gives us 2 angles to look at this storm from and lets us know. And again, seconds matter when you're talking about severe weather. So when you look at our Doppler radar scanning right there, that gives me 30-second data. It's going around the horn every 30 seconds and sends that data back to me. The National Weather Service radar, of course, due to it not being ours, it goes to their site and then from their site to us. And by the time it reaches here, it's about a minute 30 to 2 minutes old, which, again, I'm thankful for it. It's in Tennessee. We don't have a radar in Tennessee, but ours does reach up that way. So combining the two gives me a really clear picture of what we're looking at. And I can tell you that if this cell holds together, it would be in our viewing area by 10:30, which puts it in that wheelhouse of at any minute they could issue a warning, being that we're under 30 minutes out from it being in our area. So just to let you know, we're watching it, okay? Are we overly concerned about it? For the upstate, absolutely not. If it were to survive the mountains, it would probably go this way toward the Piedmont versus down into the upstate. But we are unusually warm, unusually muggy. It feels honestly like a May type day. Temperatures in the 70s to around 80 degrees outside today with the sunshine, and then tonight being unusually muggy, unusually warm. Our lows tonight are going to be around 60. Again, that's typical for May 10th. Weird, right? So looking at this from all different perspectives, I can tell you it looks like if it were to continue on its same path, this would likely be a severe thunderstorm warning for our area. It's hitting that mountainous terrain, and it is hitting an elevation that is much more mountainous than not. And if it continues to do that and continues to be knocked down by those mountains, we're going to be in better shape. But boy, this is a violent storm. It's got a hail core that's very pronounced right there. And it's got that notch right there at the bottom. So right in there is where that rotation is. You got the inflow right there, the outflow with the storm. That rear flank downdraft is possibly where you'd have the tornado. And looking at that, even just 10, 15 minutes ago, I mean, look how bright those greens were and the reds. I mean, that was a tight rotation. And as that system, or as that area were to move to the east, it hit some higher terrain and kind of it really disrupted that wind going toward the radar. That inflow got disrupted significantly in there. And as I advance this out to right now, that inflow, the green going toward the radar, is all but gone. So I don't want to let our guard down. Certainly still a rotating thunderstorm, certainly still a dangerous severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. But if there's a silver lining here, one, it does not look like it's coming to the upstate. Two, it's weakening to the point of not being a tornado warning anymore. We're going to have to wait and see. That's going to be the question. If I see a yellow box go out right here, okay, that's not something we should just let our guard down in this area, because it is a severe thunderstorm. Whether the winds are 60, 70 miles per hour or rotating, it doesn't matter. Wind is wind, right? So if it were to continue into Madison County or Haywood County, it would be something we would need to keep an eye on there. So cautiously optimistic will be my word I'm using here as we look at this closely. Let me see what we're hearing here. Still getting about 60-mile-an-hour winds out of this. Whether that rotation completely dissolves or weakens or not, still got 60-mile-an-hour winds out of that. And we'll hear from them any second now. So where are you guys watching from right now? I see a lot of you are watching about Chestnut Hill. Chestnut Hill just clocked a 63-mile-per-hour wind gust out there. So if you're watching or have family and friends in the Chestnut Hill area, certainly rocking and rolling in that area. Is Belton going to be hit tonight? Jeannie, no. Belton will not. May get some rain, and don't be surprised if you hear some thunder, but this tornadic activity, this severe activity that's in the mountains of Tennessee right now will not translate into the upstate, at least not to the same capacity. We are in a different environment, and those storms would have to cross all the way through the mountains, which if it even did, it would probably go into the Piedmont versus the upstate of South Carolina. Nonetheless, this is a very volatile storm that is moving rather rapidly at about 45 miles per hour. So we're watching it. We get data in here. A couple of things I'm watching, both on the radar and in our area. So watching it closely, just getting my cameras framed up here in case we do go on TV. But right now, cautiously optimistic are the words I'm using. Is it? It's looking better. It's trending the way I want to see it, trending better for us as that rotation is all but unrecognizable at this point, which is certainly great. I mean, even back there, you see the red and the green, very pronounced, and it gets less pronounced. Now it's kind of there. But nonetheless, you've still got winds in here that are quite potent. And let me turn this warning back off. All right. You got a 50-mile-an-hour wind gust right there. So, I mean, this thing's definitely still cooking. It's just a matter of is it still giving us rotation? How does Spartanburg look? Woodruff, South Carolina. Anybody watching right now in the upstate looks to be okay from severe weather tonight. This would be for the mountains of western North Carolina, in particular, Madison, Haywood, Yancey, Mitchell, Buncombe, McDowell counties, kind of right there in that wheelhouse, right in here, okay? That's where we'd have that threat. While feisty still, this definitely is looking better for us in the mountains. Is Greer okay? Absolutely. Greer is fine. So is Blacksburg, Woodruff, Fountain Inn. Hi, Liz. Thank you for watching. Sabrina's watching from Weaverville, something we're still watching for you closely in northern Buncombe County. Again, if this holds together and we're to begin to rotate again, which, while is not, out of the question, this cell is certainly moving into very higher terrain. It's already struggling a little bit. Now it's moving into higher terrain, and it's a matter of does it hold together enough for that to be a concern. And just to show you kind of a forecast section of this, let's see if this will work. No, it's not. Okay. But what's going to happen tonight is these storms move off toward the east more than the south. Travis, that's not our area. It is for our viewing area. May not be your area, but it's definitely our area. This is our area. It's the area I cover at WYFF4. Cowpen, South Carolina. Watching it for you as well. Again, this would be for Madison, Haywood, Yancey, Mitchell, Avery, Watauga, Buncombe, McDowell, those areas as this line moves off toward the east, southeast, all right? The fact that it would survive the trip down the mountain into the upstate does not look at all likely, all right? Could we get some rain? Yes. Could we get some rumbles of thunder? Certainly. But does it look to be severe, widespread across the area? No, all right? So what we're waiting for, what I'm waiting for right now is to get within that 20-minute, 15-minute time frame, so about another 5 minutes or so, to make sure that this thing is continuing on its way down. Is it continuing to weaken right there, that cell right there? And is that rotation continuing to show signs that it's losing its steam a little bit? And there is almost zero green in this anymore. So while it was rotating, there we go. Looks like they went with the severe thunderstorm warning. So here we go. Got some new data in here. Hey, Ben, can you call him upstairs, ask to run the crawl, please? All right, so what we're getting here is a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado tag on it. What that means is there's enough rotation in the atmosphere, or has been, that a tornado is possible. They're not warning it as a tornado right now. They're calling it a severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. This has been observed on Doppler radar and has been observed with damage back through Knoxville westbound. Okay, so in the last 30 minutes, what has happened is this rotation, the circulation, the inflow has been disrupted. So the threat for severe weather has come down a bit. So what we've got issued here is a new severe thunderstorm warning, which does include downtown Asheville, which is just north of Chimney Rock right there. So these areas, again, so devastated by Helene, are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. So strong winds, hail possible out of this, but this is moving into very mountainous terrains in here where it will very likely continue to be disrupted while still feisty, while we're still watching it, no doubt about it. It is certainly on its way down, weakening. All right, so Storm Tracker would have this, if it continues on its same path, would have it moving through Hartford at 10:18, Ebbs Mill, Leicester at about 10:51, and then moving into downtown Asheville at around 11 o'clock. So about 45 minutes or so from the Asheville Black Mountain area. All right. So right at 11 o'clock, WYFF News 4 will be on. We'll be on the air. So if you want to give it one last measure of check-in before you go to bed, I would 100% tell you to check in on WYFF 4 at 11 o'clock before you clock in for the night, okay? So what we're watching here is a line of storms that I've been watching all evening in Tennessee that were rocking and rolling in Nashville. Warning got issued just east of Nashville, continued as it moved east toward Knoxville. And once it got into Knoxville, it just didn't weaken. It continued to show signs of rotation. And this tornado warning will transition over to a severe thunderstorm warning downstream as it heads into North Carolina, including downtown Asheville by about 11 o'clock. While it certainly still has a very large hail core with it, that hail is quite large, in excess of an inch, according to Doppler radar, 1.1 inches, in fact. That rotation has continued to show signs of weakening. Big-time rotation back toward the west, and then when it moved toward the east, became all but unrecognizable. All right, so that is certainly good news that it's trending better, but this area is prime. We're 61 degrees in the mountains on a February night. How about that? All right, folks, so all eyes on it. I will continue to keep you posted. If a threat for rotation at all ramps up or tightens up, I'm going to get back on here and give you an update live, and I will continue to keep you posted. And if anything were to happen, WYFF 4 will be into programming. And, of course, much more coming up on WYFF News 4 at 11 o'clock.